I'm Matt Boothby. I'm the Vice President of Information Technology for the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts are a football club competing in the National Football League. We're focused on hosting large events that provide a great experience for our fans and winning football games. Our fans and partners trust us with their data so that we can provide services and facilitate business. We also maintain a lot of information about our strategies and plans for our football team, and all those aspects, security is a primary concern. We're involved in all technology in our environment, so any solution that aligns with the way we already work and allow us to focus on the technical solutions that we choose to use and spend less time and focus on other threats is a big benefit. Most of our staff and team work in many environments all the time. It's not so much working just from home or at work. They'll be working here in the complex, out on the practice field, at training camp. We work a lot out of hotels. We're playing games all across the country and increasingly all around the world. Having ThreatLocker protecting our endpoints gives us a lot of confidence in our ability to operate in any of those environments. ThreatLocker as a solution helps us focus on the solutions that we do put in place and less on other threats in our environment. There are a lot of compliance and frameworks that we have to align with. I think the most significant being PCI. So our fans trust us with their personal information and their credit cards. We take that's an utmost concern for us. ThreatLocker really helps us in that regard. What I'm most impressed with so far with ThreatLocker is, with us taking an allow listing kind of approach, that being able to be implemented and go unnoticed from our user standpoint, we're able to allow the solutions that we've explicitly chosen to operate in our environment. Our users can work and focus on their day and not have the false positives and not have the disruption that I feared being associated with a whitelisting kind of approach, but it's been really smooth, really unnoticed. From a protection standpoint, we feel really good in that regard.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to week 8 of 100 Days How to Secure Your Environment. Last week, we talked about Office 365 more. We navigated the very, very complicated portal. And at this point...
No, specify which portal.
The Office 365
Thank you.
portal.
Microsoft's portal.
Microsoft's
portal.
And at this point, you should have deployed your ThreatLocker agent to your phones, hopefully, to at least some of your phones, to your guinea pigs. You should have your Office 365 policy starting to secure. So we're stopping token persistence, we're forcing dual-factor authentication, we're limiting by country at least, and hopefully limiting by your device with your ThreatLocker control app on it. So you should really be starting to harden your Office 365. This week, we're going to talk about my favorite subject, Apple Macs.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I feel like
he's officially outnumbered.
Although the head of hair is outnumbered this week. Okay, but first of all, welcome, Slava.
Yep. Hey,
Slava
nice to meet you.
runs our Mac product.
Yeah.
So all of those bugs he's responsible for?
Yeah, I am. Mac security chief architect. I don't remember how you called me.
So today we're going to talk about Macs. But to begin with, we have to settle a debate. You're saying, Rob, if with a Mac, your argument is they're more secure because terminal can't access files unless you explicitly give it permission. So therefore ring-fence by default.
One of the reasons.
Okay.
One of the
so your argument.
Reasons
just want to be clear. Your argument's
better.
Curl cannot access files. Write to your documents folder because it's more secure. We just had this discussion. Is your position that curl cannot access files?
My position is that terminal cannot access files.
You just said to me, we just had a big argument. Why don't you man up and re-argue this?
Because.
Okay.
Facts have changed.
Okay. What's the word? It's different facts. Is that the word?
Alternative
facts. Okay. So
yes.
if you remember, if anyone had joined the webinar about 18 months ago, Rob had made a bet that Macs were more secure than Windows.
Which I still maintain is true.
Okay. So, because what happened is we'd plugged a rubber ducky into a Mac and it asked us what type of keyboard.
Yes.
So after that webinar, It's called hardening Macs.
Danny
ironically.
spent an inordinate amount of time and effort and
No, rephrase.
resources.
I did not spend
Sorry,
any time.
okay, you delegated somebody to spend an
Yeah, I
inordinate
helped.
amount. Yes.
Uh,
To try and prove me wrong.
and if you recall rightly, by the end of the webinar, not only
The next webinar.
the next webinar,
Yes.
the rubber ducky ran on your computer. True or false?
I don't think there was a rubber ducky
The
involved.
rubber ducky ran on your computer.
Was there a rubber
Yes,
ducky involved?
you can watch the webinar.
I
It's
should
still
watch the
recorded.
webinar.
But we decided we didn't want to use the rubber ducky, so we found a vulnerability in the AirPods, or as Apple called it, a seamless user experience.
Yes.
And that allowed us to gain complete control to your computer without you accepting our control. Sending keystrokes from your AirPod, taking complete control of your Mac, and uploading your files to the internet.
I don't remember a lot of this. Now, maybe look, it was a traumatic experience, so maybe I just have sort of put it out of my
Just
mind.
blocked it.
So
Yeah,
because Rob apparently, and it's really worth watching that, said we bullied him.
No, nobody should ever watch that again. In fact, I forgot it was still on the internet.
So before this call, we had an argument as to whether curl could access your documents folder without you explicitly giving it permissions, because your argument was, I know you said you have alternative facts now, that Mac's curl could not, and Slava's going to settle this for us. So Slava's going to share his screen.
Hang on. Slava the splitter is going to...
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Let
I
me
can't
just
believe you're
show
doing
you.
this, Slava.
Let's
Okay.
just settle this. Can curl access the file? No, we already just tested. We know.
Slava the Mac guy, the Apple fan.
He never said he's an Apple
Hey,
fan.
No.
It doesn't matter if I'm a fan or not, but the problem is if it can be exploited, we should do that, and we should stop it from getting exploited, right? That's the point.
Obviously, I can't disagree with you, but that doesn't mean that you're not wrong to diss Macs.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, look, we're just here to see if we can access files from curl.
Listen, this somehow has to be Microsoft's fault.
No,
Can we find a way to make it Microsoft's
curl is
fault?
a Linux core or Unix. So Microsoft has now introduced it to Windows because they didn't want you to have all the vulnerabilities.
So can we sort of then say that it's Microsoft's fault?
Look, Matt, you can argue what you want. You bought two Mac engineers or two Mac whores,
Apple horse.
Apple whores, okay, into the room to bully me. Took all of the Windows computers off the desk. We are a fully iPhone desk. Even I'm wearing an Apple Watch, and now I get one chance to get Slava to try and access files from curl.
You pointed out one potential vulnerability.
In 5 seconds of thought. There you go.
You've been thinking
come
about
on.
this for months.
No, it didn't.
Months.
Okay, let's just share. We're sharing the screen.
Yeah, let me just show it. Basically, now we have settings opened.
Oh look,
And-
ThreatLocker's in monitor only mode.
Yeah, ThreatLocker storage controls in
Because-
monitor only mode.
Yeah, which it's okay because the Apple operating system is secure. So
Yeah, so basically
Securer.
we have terminal that does not have access to documents folder or downloads folder. It's called TCC. Basically, it's layer of protection that doesn't allow Macs or apps on a Mac to have access to certain folders. So terminal now.
Hang on. Do you have it turned off? Okay. Just
Yeah. Let me just show you. I go to
he's not going to cheat. He's your Apple fanboy.
You're
documents
clearly
folder.
not.
Documents folder. I'm here. I just try to check what's in there. Nothing.
What's that say? Access it not permitted.
Yeah, not permitted because we don't have access to it
So what you're saying is I'm right.
Let's go.
to some extent.
No,
Okay.
no, because the
No, no.
argument is about curl.
So we already ran it. So we have a command curl output. So we're gonna save the file into documents folder with the curl. I just run it. It runs.
Boom!
Boom.
You lose.
Let me just go try to open this. See?
And if we turn off we turn on ThreatLocker protection. What happens?
How do you make the world's smuggest man smugger?
I'm just going to say
I'm
something.
sorry, but
Uh,
it's
I'm going to.
Like, look, realistically, we've discussed this on previous weeks. Again, full disclosure, this is a pre-record. I'm still sunburned.
Partial
Amazing.
pre-record.
Partial.
I'm going to
Sorry,
poof
yes.
out of here again.
Partial. We're going to get rid of you shortly and get down to the nitty gritty of saying how great Macs are. I've forgotten what I was going to say though.
Good. It was probably not worth
Yeah,
it.
never mind.
I'm
just devastated.
Let's do this again. So we want to get to some points here. I will concede one thing. When he hits end
Yeah.
secure
Let me
mode,
just show you. Yeah, I'm gonna end storage control monitor only mode.
it's going to take a few minutes.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, we're gonna wait a
Do you have
little
to clear your
bit.
cache, or do you not need to do that on Win?
No,
Okay.
no,
They don't have cache on Win.
we have cache.
They don't have any cache because they spent it all on the Mac.
Listen, that's exactly what I was going to say. We spent all the cash on the Macs.
No
Let me
cache.
just run it again.
You do have cache.
Nope.
No,
It's
blocked.
blocked.
Boom.
Oh, it's blocked.
Operation
Secure.
warning
Secure.
not permitted.
So I will concede one thing. That when Macs are running ThreatLocker with ring fencing, with storage control, with application control enabled, they are not unsecure operating systems.
I would counter with, we have Windows, which is just not secure. We have Macs, which are securer. And we have Macs running ThreatLocker, which are securist.
I
agree with
Can
that.
we agree on that?
No,
Yes. What?
no.
Securer and securist.
But what I'm going to say is that a Mac operating system is the same as a Windows operating system in that it can run software.
We can agree on that.
Yeah, and therefore it can run TeamViewer, it can run remote access tools, it can run RATs. So it's got vulnerabilities. So we should be blocking untrusted software. We're not going to dig too much into how to block untrusted software because we're doing that on Windows. It's the same principle. But what I do want to talk about is what ring fence. We have these applications in Mac. So what storage policies are specific to Mac that we should be putting in place in Windows? What ring fencing policies should we be putting in place on Mac? How should we harden the environment on a Mac? Like how do we out of the box group policy set a screensaver on a Mac? MDM, Jamf, I don't care. What way do we do
I
it?
was going to say group policy.
Let's go for it. How do we do this?
This is not a Jamf webinar. This is not this. No.
Okay, can it be done? And how do we do it?
I'm sure it can.
I've never tried.
Okay, we got some great Mac engineers here. Okay, so let's talk.
Sorry, I don't have to because it's set out of the box. I've never even had to think about it.
Okay, so things we should be thinking about though is passwords. Same with everything else.
you
Lock
can do that.
policies. We can do that. Let's talk about software. What should we're going to talk a lot about ring fencing PowerShell and ring fencing command prompt and ring fencing Microsoft Office not talk to PowerShell. What applications are the most priority on a Mac that we should be ring fencing?
Terminal. The first one.
Well, that's what I said, and you disagreed with me and then proved me wrong.
No, but terminal.
I
what
didn't
about
disagree with you.
and curl?
Okay, we can agree on terminal and curl.
Okay, what other applications? What application is going to eat your lunch on a Mac? Office. There you go. You can blame Microsoft.
Oh, okay, if we can blame Microsoft, I'll go Office.
Are we able to ring fence between applications on a Mac?
Yes.
So let's talk about this. What's a good policy for Office?
Stop Office calling. I'm going to say curl, but terminal.
Yeah, terminal macros. Disable macros.
So same as Windows, disable
Yeah.
macros.
Blame Microsoft.
At least we can go. We could stop Office talking. Can we do the same with Chrome?
What do you mean? Like
Stop it calling terminal.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
Okay. What about files? So this is something we obviously want to stop curl talking to our files.
Yeah. We can restrict access to folders.
macOS does that.
Yeah.
It does.
No, not to that extent.
God, how much is he paying you? How much is he paying you, Slava, to disrespect Max?
Okay, let's.
I respect Max.
Oh, hang on a second. I just realised. Technically, I'm your boss.
Yes.
And you're disrespecting Max like this.
Yeah, technically he's my boss too.
Well, that's
I'm
true.
your boss, man. So okay. So let's think about what policies we should be putting in place on the Mac. So first thing is, do we use a hypervisor? How many Mac users use a hypervisor on the Mac? Do you have a hypervisor on your Mac?
You don't need to because you have everything that you need in this beautiful operating. Yes,
do you have a Do you have a storage control policy for the hypervisor?
Do I have a storage control policy for the hypervisor? No, I do not.
Okay, so same storage control policy as Windows. What hypervisor do you use?
I use Parallels.
Parallels. Okay.
Yeah, I use UTM.
Do you have
Do I protect my Parallels VHDs or equivalent of VHDs? No, I do not.
So we're going to create a storage policy. Same. Do we have one in the marketplace or in the community?
Probably not.
We're going to have one by the time this webinar is published,
which is technically in the future. So yes.
Okay, so we're gonna put. So first thing we're gonna do is create a storage policy. Do you want to bring up a storage policy, anyone? Because I don't have. There's no real.
Slava.
Open the
I'm
portal.
sorry.
Let's bring up a storage policy,
Let's go here.
and we're going to show you how to do this manually. And we're going to create a storage policy. And you've got policies already to protect your documents folder. That's good. So here we can go in and we can create a new policy.
I have policy, I guess, for my computer. One of them.
So if we wanted to block access to VHDs except from Parallels or from, we would do the same thing as Windows. So we'd create a policy first.
Theoretically.
Is the extension VHD?
It's not. It's PV.
Yeah, it depends
See,
on the app.
because Mac is a superior operating system, we're not limited to 3 characters at the end.
Neither is Windows. We just don't want to complicate things. You're limited to one mouse button, though.
With many functions.
Okay. So we're going to block access to VHDs or PVHDs.
I can't remember what they are.
I don't know. Is this the Mac team?
Do I have Parallels? Oh, I do have Parallels installed. Yay!
So just tell me. I don't have parallels.
Just keep
Doesn't-
doing
it's not
stuff on the
working.
left.
Oh,
hand
look. Oh, what's that? What's that say there?
No,
No,
nothing.
what's that say on the screen?
Nothing.
Are you running Windows on your Mac, Rob?
Windows for ARM.
Oh my god, so embarrassing.
Okay. Look, you can't expect him to have to carry 2 computers, and he needs to run half of his software. So, is that right?
Let me just check what we have for UTM. That's
We're gonna
it.
create
So
some policy.
UTM has UTM,
.utm.
so we can block that.
Okay, so we're going to create a policy to block star.utm. So
Yes.
basically, we're going to the storage policies here. We're going to say read and write are blocked.
Yep.
And we're going to say the following paths. And we're going to put these in the community after Rob's thoroughly tested them. Star.utm. And click add there. And we're going to essentially say deny.
Yep, that's
and
it.
then click
Allow?
create.
You want to
Allow the user to request. I wouldn't bother because normally those ones you don't want the hacker knowing the start. You want to slow them down as much as
Yeah.
possible. And then we create a
Create it.
second policy so to allow UTMs just above that. And we're only going to allow the process. Now, again, just like Windows, you can do an autocomplete. Maybe there's nothing to autocomplete there. So if we go into read write,
Open
selected
No,
file
sorry.
paths,
file path.
and just add star UTM in there. And click add. And then we're going to say, scroll down the following programs. There you go. And click that button there. And with a bit of luck, it'll pull. I guess you haven't accessed any UTMs. But if you have access to UTM, it'll auto-populate the processes for you. Otherwise, we just find the process name and we're going to add it. And we're going to add these to the community to make our life a little bit easier. And we want to do that for Parallels and the other one. Okay. What other storage do we want to look after? So we've got a ring fencing policy for Office. Will we go through that? Is that in the community?
Possibly.
It will be in the community.
Yes.
So essentially,
Let's pretend it already is in the future.
So let's create the ring fencing policy for Office because I like people to know how to do these manually anyway. So we'll go into our you have an application control. You have a policy for Office.
Yep. Like this one, but let me create one. Or you want to use this?
That's fine. So we'll edit the current one. So we've got a policy for thingy here. So we're going to say permit with ring fence and let's stop it talking to other applications. So we'll just slide that button on there.
Yeah.
And we're going to say all except the list below. We can probably do all including the list below because I will say
for
one.
Office. I mean, maybe it's gonna run like updater or something.
So we should run some tests on that with us. But we can if we're saying all except the list below, or we just type in terminal there. So just add terminal, which means it can't speak to terminal, and this is going to stop Office calling terminal. So if you get one of those lovely Microsoft Office macros, it's going to be blocked.
Yep.
And
just save it.
another thing you can do.
I choose to believe that it would be anyway by the superior security in macOS.
You can choose to believe whatever you want.
By the way, a Parallels machine is a PVM file that contains all the VHDs that are the equivalent of VHDs, etc.
3-ladder extension. I'm sorry.
You are so in my bad books.
Oh, I love that Slava got bought here to get
honestly. I've been going to podcasts and like talking to people. I'm trying to explain them that they think that Mac is vulnerable.
No,
and the problem is
I never said it's in.
Any macOS update, go to security updates and see how many things they fix.
I agree.
They recently fixed core audio issue when someone
Securer. Max securest.
Secure.
Max running ThreatLocker. Yes.
Yes.
No, so
But
Insecure.
I'm not the one who's...
insecure but less attacked because no one wants to bother.
No,
of
it's
the-
more sophisticated. Attacks actually
They
more
have to be
sophisticated
more
on
secure.
Mac.
Yes, they have to be more sophisticated because they're more secure.
I don't think using a flipper to take control over a Mac from a headset is sophisticated.
They've already fixed that.
Yes.
I just want to point.
And they didn't thank us for
They
telling them about
recently
it.
they recently fixed something for AirPlay, so basically it's remote attack too. So I haven't
Listen,
checked what was that, but
I've got 2 words for him. Patch Tuesday. Okay? Every Patch Tuesday, a gazillion vulnerabilities are fixed. 0 days,
I
you name
agree.
it.
I agree.
So, back to my original point. Secure this baby here.
Securer. I agree.
Securist this baby here running ThreatLocker. I mean,
Okay,
we
we
can't not disagree on this. I mean,
we can go around in
we're
circles.
all in the same team.
Okay, so let's
just
think about
I'm right
what else
and
do
you're
we
not.
what else do we want to do on this Mac?
What else?
Oh, look, updates.
Yes, update our software.
Update our software. Same principle applies. Do we have patch management in Mac yet?
Almost.
Almost in
It's
Mac.
in beta.
It's in
yeah.
beta. Okay, so we have patch management in beta.
Remember, we're in the future now, so yes, we do.
Oh yes, we
Yes.
do.
Okay, so patch management in Mac. Same scenario as before. Last week we looked at, we can see unpatched software. We can see that Parallels Desktop is out of date. What's it saying? I'm just intrigued to see what it says in the release notes there.
Update addresses the overall stability and some
Security.
issues. Oh no, it says some issues.
Security
No,
issues.
you're misreading that, Danny. You're misreading that. It says some issues.
Okay, that's good to know.
Now, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, remind me later, and then I'm going to patch it with Slava's awesome patch management
Yes, we
in the
will.
future, which is
Yes.
actually the past.
Okay, so by the time you do the Q&A, the patch will be installed.
Yes,
Yeah.
That'll be good to know.
tremendous.
Okay, so we've got patching, still as important on a Mac, and the Apple
course.
do release a bunch of security updates every month. Each one of them spies on you a little bit more.
No, they don't. They care about privacy.
Oh yeah. Because of that, we have
Now
less.
he chirps in
No.
and agrees
Because
with
of
me.
that, we have less access to the system, and we can't protect everything because we're not allowed to go to kernel and have a driver like they have on Windows.
Which
So,
is a good thing.
for security. Oh, not for security, but for privacy and a little bit.
okay.
It's
So
debatable.
what you're saying is Macs are more secure.
and
Securer
stable.
and stabler.
Wait,
Yeah, we're
okay,
not-
so I just want to
so
be clear.
more
Are you
secure
saying
and
there's
more
never
stable.
been a build of ThreatLocker that made the Mac unstable?
There was.
That's not Apple's fault.
Because it's not
That's
the kernel.
his fault.
No, it's my fault.
Yes.
Blame me.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I think we're getting to. I mean,
Okay.
as often happens,
So
we're getting
now you're
around
turning
to
your
my-
heads on me.
No, but we're coming around to my way of thinking, which is secure.
Okay, so we're going to ring fence our applications. We don't
Yes.
want our applications talking to other applications because guess what? They can and will upload and steal your data. The next thing to take into account on your Mac is you need to install all of the Apple updates, but also all of the Windows updates on it because most people who use Macs use Windows, just like Rob is here.
No, they don't.
So don't forget to install your patch your Windows operating systems on your Macs as well. And browser patching, macOS disabled, same principle as Windows. Most of this is actually the same. The only difference is we're replacing the word PowerShell with terminal.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So screensaver lock policies. Disk encryption is on by default. I'll give you the one.
He gave us one. Thank you. Yes, it is. If you put in a password, some people can choose to not do that. And you can, yeah, it's a whole thing. But yes,
Okay.
encrypted is turned on by default. Yes.
Yes. Okay. We need to. Is there anything else we want to put on the Mac? And we're going to open up to Q&A, where you guys are going to be bombarded with questions, and hopefully supporters of me and Windows.
Don't even think about it, you guys.
Yeah.
So we're coming with detect soon on Mac, and that's most, I guess, for me, and from my perspective, is a little bit sometimes most important because a lot of threat actors, what they do, they use vulnerabilities and they use Apple software for that. So detect is going to be able to detect some kind of things like that. So, but we're talking about this after it gets released.
So, for example, curl accessing my documents folder.
would be
for example.
I
Yes.
see.
an
I see.
indicator of compromise, definitely.
Yeah, and when some legit macOS app like disk utility can bypass SIP by running something else. It used to. It's already patched. But
Patch.
I see. Yes, patch your things.
yes.
Okay, so running the same tools that you need to run on Windows just as important.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the challenges you have as a Mac user is the number of security tools are limited. There's definitely a lot less security tools, and
I wouldn't say it's a little bit different. But I guess less. It's
It-
probably it's less.
Is that a
but
challenge or is it a good thing?
well, it's just a smaller market. It's harder to sell to. I mean, it's technically.
No, I mean from the user's perspective.
I mean, we lose money on our Mac agent.
Still,
Well, that's his fault.
still, no.
Not as much as we lose on the Linux agent. But I mean, we're about providing a complete solution to security. So making sure that we cover the Macs is really
And
important.
yeah, say that again louder.
Making sure we secure the Macs is important.
Okay, that's fine. So what you're saying is you care about Macs.
I do. I care about people.
Oh, you're a people person now. Sure.
Yeah, and you know, we understand that users are the biggest problem.
Oh yeah.
We can agree on that.
And when you take somebody, and look, most security attacks are going to happen from users opening software that
Yeah.
they shouldn't run.
Social engineering. yeah.
Social engineering, phishing emails, put your password in here. And what I understand very clearly is that it's hard for a person to understand what is a real security threat when you get 15 warnings every time you open anything on your computer. So you take an educated user, and even they can make mistakes. And actually, even the other day, what did I do on the webinar? I accidentally downloaded Keeper, the wrong version of Keeper. And if it wasn't for ThreatLocker saving my ass, I would have ran
Application not matching.
that application not matching. But I also understand that users are the biggest vulnerability, and the most vulnerable users are surely those who can only use one mouse button. Because they can't even right-click to go to properties to see the details of the file.
I don't even use mouse. I use trackpad. It's so
Right.
good that I don't need a
Exactly.
mouse.
Now, thank you. You're
Yeah.
going back to my
Okay,
side now.
that's
I
good.
need mouse just
Sorry,
for
let me
gaming.
just
That's it.
zoom in. Let me just zoom out. Let me just swish from side to side. And oh no,
Yeah, okay.
no, don't touch my screen.
Okay, so
Need some
I think what we're going to do now is go to
meaty
Q&A, because
fingers.
most of this is actually relatively simple. What we need to do, though, is I think if you haven't installed a security agent, and I want to focus on, I'd love everyone to deploy ThreatLocker, of course, but you should have something on your Mac that's controlling elevations. Taking away admin rights on a Mac is just as important as Windows.
We can agree on that.
Okay, stopping untrusted software, and the same principles that we apply to Windows apply to Mac and to Linux machines.
Of course.
So let's and next week we're going to talk about Linux and Windows servers as well. Okay, so make sure you have deployed the agent on your Mac. You're monitoring the behavior of your Macs. We're blocking USB drives on Macs. We're disabling macOS. Is there anything really different other than PowerShell and terminal?
No. I mean, in general, no.
No.
Okay.
The longer this goes on, the more I am determined to make that AI you I had planned. And we're going to get, you remember that big TV that we had the last time? We're going to get it and we're going to put it behind us here.
Okay.
And I'm going to have AI Danny between us when we're doing the Q&A going, Macs are awesome.
Okay.
I'm going to find a way to do it. I've signed up for one AI thing that wouldn't let me do it because I had to get consent. Your consent. I mean, why would I need your consent to make a video of you? But I'm going to find one that doesn't require your consent, and I'm going to get an AI you here by, what time is it? 15 minutes from now when we do the Q&A.
Okay.
I am determined.
Okay. Well, let's you
Looking forward to it.
work on that.
I am
and
going to work on that.
in the meantime, make sure you deploy the agent. Next week, we're going to talk about Windows servers. We're going to talk about Linux servers because the servers are really important and do have different issues to endpoints and workstations. Mac isn't involved in that conversation because they can't write servers anymore.
Oh my God. The number of problems I have with you right now. You have no idea.
Okay, so we're going to come back next week, and I'm going to hand over to Slava and Rob to do the Q&A on this session. So hopefully you guys have some decent questions, and please defend me.
We will answer your questions as long as you preface them with Macs are awesome. Okay, so Macs are awesome. Question.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
Okay, that's
I love
fine.
Max.
And then
And you're not
Week
allowed to
9.
answer anything unless you say Macs are awesome at the start of the answer.
Okay.
Okay, week
'Cause
9, I will
he's
I've
be
been
not
back.
gonna
using
be here.
Macs since
He's not going to be here to
2010.
interfere and influence you like he has been.
We will be back on week 9, and I will be in person, no pre-recordings. So thank you, Slava.
I will
Thank
look
you,
forward
Rob.
to that.
Thank
I
you,
will-
guys.
Q&A. Oh, hello.
Hello. Hey, Rob.
Welcome
Where's
to
Danny?
week. I've forgotten what week it is. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And he disappears. If only it was that easy in real life, Slava.
Yes.
But yes, this is week 8. 8? Yes,
8,
week
okay.
8 of our Secure Your Environment series. It is our second Danny this week.
Okay. Yeah,
And
probably.
fingers crossed.
It's yours.
It's our
My
last.
first one.
Yeah, well, it's our last Danny this week as well. So he'll be back with us in the flesh with his tinny English voice that everybody keeps complaining about. So we have that to look forward to next week. So hope you found the first part interesting. Somebody did comment that it was a lot of bickering, and I'm not sure if you've actually seen these webinars before, but it is basically 90% bickering,
Yep.
especially when we're talking about Macs.
Oh, yeah. That's all. Every time I talk to someone about Macs, I hear the same question. Why?
Yes, yes, ingrates. But we'll go through a few of the questions
Yeah.
first of all, and then we'll
Okay,
do your
let's-
demonstration.
Are we
and
gonna do
also
your
my demonstration
first?
as to why. No, we'll
So
do
we're gonna
yours
start
first,
with
then
yours,
mine.
no?
No, we'll do mine
Okay.
last. Mine's going to be the pièce de resistance at the end, where
Okay.
everyone goes, "Ooh, Macs are awesome." So I do want to clarify something though, and it was something
Let's
that we
do that.
showed, your little demonstration of what you can do with curl on macOS.
Yes.
What can't you do?
So basically, the curl, what it does, it can access your documents folder. That's true.
It can
Bypassing restrictions.
It
It can write the
to your
file.
documents folder.
Right. If you want to read it with the curl,
You can.
you can't accept the file you downloaded with the curl. So basically, if you download anything with the curl, put it into restricted folder,
Yes.
you can still access it with curl, with CP, with terminal, basically.
Yes, but equally, I couldn't just use curl to upload all of my files to the internet, for example.
No.
Okay,
You're
I
right.
just wanted to clarify that for everybody in case there was any confusion. It looked really scary what Slava was
No,
doing.
but it is. It's still scary because, like, so people download files with the curl. I mean, it's not like just regular documents, but they use curl for, and they rely on the macOS protection. Still, no?
I see. Oh, Craig has asked, where is AI Danny? So disappointed. Will I
Where?
tell Craig the answer to that story? So I started trying to create an AI Danny. Now, there was 2 problems with it.
I heard it
Primarily-
was good.
Well, primarily, I did have an AI audio Danny, but I tried to make an AI video Danny, and the thing that we were using to create it, you need to verify that the person that you are making an AI version of is agreeable to it. So you have to put in, I agree to this, and here's my code and stuff. So long story short, I couldn't do an AI Danny because Danny wasn't cooperative. So I made an AI me instead.
Okay.
And the AI me was really funny because it gave me an American accent, a
Oh.
distinct American accent. But the system had an option for an Irish accent. So I went, ooh,
Okay.
that could be interesting. It very much wasn't an Irish. It basically made it into gibberish. So yeah, all AI impersonations
Did
of
you say
ourselves have
that
been
you
cancelled.
hate Macs and love Windows?
No, I talked a little about reverse shells, but it ended up talking about Mac and Durkeys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Simon, surely you can use curl to download ransomware to the Mac.
Of course. People
Yes.
use it all the time, like ransomware, malware, everything, like payloads. Basically, yeah, everything. The threat actors, they use curl all the time.
Okay, we've got an anonymous attendee that I like and
Okay.
an anonymous attendee that I
Okay.
don't like. Will we start with the one I like or the one I don't like?
It's up to you.
Let's start with the one I like. So, not a question, just a comment. Mac, when combined with the complete Apple ecosystem, is probably the most delightful computing experience you can have. People that hate just haven't fully invested in the ecosystem experience.
Honestly, I have Mac at home. I have Apple Watch. I have
All
iPhone.
the things.
Ecosystem is really good. And
All the
that's why I love
things.
Macs.
And I
honestly.
can't find. Yeah,
Like-
so that's the nice anonymous attendee.
Okay.
So the other anonymous attendee, hiding
Weird.
behind your anonymity, says Rob's Mac indoctrination reminds me of a flat earther relying on semantics and redefining facts. Typical Mac user behavior.
I mean, a lot of Mac users, they think they're basically can be beaten, right? Like they
No.
think they're secured out of the box. We talked about this, right? And it is true, but it's also not true if someone, not even super sophisticated, tries to access your system.
We've got more people complaining about bickering, but
Okay.
it's equally people bickering in the chat. So one
They wanna
person saying Macs are awesome if you don't like computers. Mac is for kids. So like all of you people, yeah.
I mean, I'm lazy because I work on a Mac. I write software for a Mac, but I'm lazy as a user. And I love Mac because it just works. It works out of the box. I mean, as a user, not as in a professional IT admin or someone, but it's still good for that.
Zach, Macs are amazeballs. Respect, Zach. And similarly, the reason I love Macs is because I've spent 25 years of fixing people's computers, primarily Windows computers. And for my own purposes, I want something that, as you said, just works.
Yeah, but
That is why I like
from the
Macs.
other hand, as a developer, and you got upset because I was basically on a Danny's side.
Yeah, well, yes.
But it's not just because I like Danny more. I don't.
Danny, can we record that? Can we clip that, please? And we'll send it to
I'm
Danny.
just joking. But basically, when you're a developer, especially a security developer for Mac, Apple have so many restrictions. So
I think protections is the word you're looking for, Slava.
No, it's restrictions for developers. You know how many times we've been doing a lot of workarounds just to make things work, especially
Yes.
for ThreatLocker, because what we do, you can't find it anywhere. Not all of the things, but I mean like some things, right? So we have to do workarounds. We have to try to legally bypass macOS. Not protections, but quirks.
I prefer protections. Can we agree to call them protections?
No.
No. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Scott, some Irish accents are gibberish. No, I've heard some interesting things visiting Kerry and West Cork. Yes, Scott, that is very true. Can you just show us how you install ThreatLocker on a Mac?
I'll just show it.
You
It's
just
already installed.
Go to the
so
portal and
yeah, it's
click on the
super easy.
install button. It's pretty straightforward. Or
Yeah,
look
download
for the
PKG.
knowledge base. I'm definitely intrigued at these anonymous attendees. Does anyone know how many of them there are? Maybe it's just one person with multiple personalities. One loves Windows, one loves Mac. I don't know. Oh God, Randy. And I can actually picture Randy right now. He says 1 Linux, 2 Windows, 3 Mac.
Okay.
I think Randy has a beard. Definitely. Yeah, Randy again. macOS is not targeted because nobody with real world important data uses them.
You know what? A lot of CEOs and top level executives, they use Macs. And do you think they don't have any important data on their computers? Huh? Debatable.
Thank you, Slava. At least we can agree on that. Skylar, Linux greater than Mac. I also have a beard. Let me see. That frustration, so Darren has made a valid comment, that frustration by devs is exactly what makes Macs more stable. Apple has tighter control of both software and hardware, thus the enhanced stability over Windows.
That's true, but we also, as a security devs, we also have less access. And stability-wise is better, but protection-wise is a little bit worse because were some things now they're fixing things, okay? But there were some things that we could not see on a Mac as a security. So basically something's going on a Mac and we cannot see it. So basically we cannot protect you. So it's a bad security thing. I don't know. I'm just help me here.
I think they call that security by obscurity. Bryant, just happy you recognize Macs as vulnerable and helping to secure them on business networks. Awesome. Speaking of vulnerable, I believe you have something
Yeah.
interesting to show the people. So can we share Slava's screen, if
Yeah,
that's
so
okay?
what I want to show you is just so it's older macOS. It's macOS 14, so it's been fixed. But at the same time, I just want to show you how easy it was probably a year ago.
So just to confirm, this is not something that, if your Mac is up to date, is actively exploitable.
Oh yeah, you should keep your Mac, every software, you should keep everything up to date. Apple's doing a good job releasing patches. So
They actually
and
patched the last thing that we reported to them quietly and without saying anything, the Bluetooth vulnerability that got my Mac hacked on a webinar.
but it's fixed, right?
It is fixed.
So okay, so I have a magic script, magic sh. I'm not running it with a sudo, I'm just a user. I run it, some kind of magic happened. So then I have test package. I just install it. It's a package that doesn't do anything, basically, just to show how things work here. So I just install it. It asks for my password. I type in my password. It's installed. So I mean, because installers usually they ask you for a password, they need a little bit more than just user privileges. So now I do a magic cleanup thing here. No more magic. Now I try to access library, launch, demons. Oh, no, not this one. Just the folder. So this folder is protected uh, by root. I mean, it's not protected, but it has a root access only for writing the file. So if I try to touch create some file, test, sh, permission denied. But what if I run sudo test sh? Oh, I'm sorry, sudo touch. Oh, I just created a file with a sudo. What, did
Ooh,
you see something happen? It
no.
didn't ask for a password because
Interesting.
I just bypassed sudo without even being. Of course, my text package asks for admin password, but it could be any package that asks for a password.
I see.
So what I do, I just bypass macOS security, run any package that was.
Did you grab those credentials, or is this
No,
a
no,
pure
it's
vulnerability?
vulnerability. It's been fixed. So I found
Interesting.
it uh, yesterday before, like I was preparing to the webinar. So I just found it and I implemented that
And
in probably 2 hours.
with an assist from ChatGPT?
Yeah, I mean, I'm lazy to write scripts. I just told them what to write, and yeah. So, and it
But
was super easy,
just to
easy
explain
bypass.
as well, you found this on the interwebs.
Oh yeah, of course. I found it on the internet, so that's why
Open
I wanted.
internet. This wasn't something that you had to go deep into hacking forums
Oh
or dark
no,
webs to
no,
find. It was
no.
literally you found it on the open
Yeah,
internet.
yeah. Because like security researchers found it, Apple fixed it. They
Mm.
released how it worked, and it was super easy. So I was like, why can't I show how easy it was? I mean,
Mm.
it's not easy to find, but it's easy to implement, and it's easy to hack your computer if it's not patched.
I like the was in that sentence. Dave did mention, don't forget to talk about the security of sudo versus admin command prompt. I think we've just shown that sudo
I mean,
maybe isn't as secure as we might
yeah,
have thought.
I can just, I forgot what's the file called, sudo cleanup. Have this. Oh, that's it. No more sudo access. So now, if I try to sudo remove this file, it will ask me for a password. So I just removed my vulnerability.
Interesting. So yeah, to Brian's point, just happy that you recognize Macs are vulnerable and helping to secure them on business networks. Christopher, I personally don't find Macs and PCs all that different as an end user. I mean, that's basically because Microsoft have copied all of Apple's good ideas. I mean,
Not
let's
all of them
call a
yet.
spade a spade. Well, most of them, most of them. Yeah, anonymous attendee says try gaming on a high end. No, try. I presume it means high end gaming on a Mac.
Never tried that. I have. I used to have PlayStation for that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I have an Xbox for that. Yes, so I don't. Yeah, but anyway, so that's considered answered. Yeah, my favorite thing about Macs is when things start breaking in mid-September and devs have to go back to the drawing board and do more workarounds.
Mid-September. I mean, we start to test macOS before it gets released.
I think technically you've already started.
Oh, I've tested macOS 26. The first beta is really bad. It's always been like that. It's not like it's just normal for
Yes.
like first betas.
But
So
does ThreatLocker work on it?
it works. It has one thing that I'm not sure if it's an Apple bug or if they changed something. So I'm waiting for two more betas until I reach out to them and ask if it's a issue or not.
No, beta 1 is
There's
never wise.
It's beta 2 already there. So
But you
it's been
installed beta
released.
1.
No, I have beta 2 on my
Oh, I
computer,
see.
like my test Mac.
I see.
So
Yeah, well, I suppose a better way to describe it would be developer betas are rarely a good idea.
oh yeah. And for developers, it's a good idea to see what's coming.
Yes, but I had 3 people walk up to me going, "Look, I've got it on my phone," and I'm like, "That's not such a good idea."
And also there's vulnerabilities that only you can find in the new versions before Apple can fix it and before security researchers can basically find it and exploit it. But at the same time, it could be more vulnerable because it's beta.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
There's going to be holes in there.
Yeah, especially developer beta.
Yeah.
Apple even may know about this, but they're not obligated to fix it until like live release. I mean,
Andrew's asked a question, and you may know more about this than me, but can we go over the drawbacks of using and not using an MDM to manage ThreatLocker, presumably the Mac agent? I had some issues testing with it, and 1 or 2 Macs not an MDM with config files needed to be deleted manually.
I'm not sure I understood.
I know there are configuration profiles.
Yeah, we have it. Yeah,
it may be just the configuration profiles were
yeah.
updated.
We had issue with configuration profiles like months ago.
Gotcha.
So we fixed that. It should be fine now. Not sure.
Cool. Skylar has asked, when does the ThreatLocker OS launch? That's an idea. Anonymous attendee, again, not sure if it's a nice anonymous attendee or the doesn't like Macs anonymous attendee. VDI is securiest. I like that word. Yep. I'm going to steal that, anonymous attendee, so thank you for that. Hank, wasn't the first virus ever created done so against Apple computers?
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, I think the viruses were
I think it was, well, actually, the first ransomware ever was definitely not against the Mac. It was some dude that I think it was on either CD. I think it was CDs or something. He gave them out or sent them out to people.
I don't think so. It was Mac,
but
I'm not
possibly the first virus could have been against a Mac. So, anonymous attendee, again, probably the nice one in this case, said, when do we get ThreatLocker for iPhone? Hashtag beards.
We can't. Apple just don't give us any tools to create anything basically for security.
I would
iPhone security, I mean.
Posit that a lot of what ThreatLocker gives you, to some extent, has already been implemented in iOS.
At some point, but
I can't just go on the internet, download a random program, and run it on my iPhone.
I mean, that's true.
I have to go through a gatekeeper.
Yes.
The gatekeeper is Apple.
But there's been, not a lot, but there's been malware that was distributed through the App Store, right? I mean, with MDM, if your iPhone has
relatively
MDM
little.
and you have restrictions to download anything except some couple of applications, maybe.
Yes, but in the grand scheme of things, compared to Windows or for that matter,
Android.
Android,
Yeah.
which again, smug Mac person preconception, I consider is riddled with everything, malware, adware, everythingware. But anyway, the point I was getting to is basically you can't just run anything you want on an Apple phone. You have to go through a gatekeeper. The gatekeeper in that case
Yeah,
is
same
Apple.
as on a Mac. And I just
No,
showed
well, you
you
can just turn off
what you can
gatekeeper.
do.
Yeah, that's true. But you can turn off protections. You have a bit more flexibility in the Mac than you do on the
Recently,
phone.
if you go, I already told it. If you go to Apple Security Update page and you see, I don't remember which one, but recent versions, they released AirPlay fixes. There was fixes for AirDrop, and basically you just can remotely break your Mac, and even like for Safari. You still can break it, like iPhone, Mac, everything, like
Okay.
1 click, remote click, 0 click.
Colin, sometimes the best defense is common sense. I like that.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
We're going to show one more thing at the end, but you do have some tips on this piece of paper. Are you going to give the people your tips? Because I'm conscious we only have about 5 minutes left.
Okay, that's just basic tips. What can you do with your Mac? So, if you have a Mac, just don't disable any protections, system integrity protection, gatekeeper, firewall, whatever.
Did you say don't?
Don't disable it.
Oh, don't disable.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought it was don't enable.
Oh no, maybe I'm just tired. I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine.
So disable AirDrop by default and only use it when necessary. Enable file vault. Basically, encrypt your disk. And I'm not sure if you know, but when disk is encrypted with a file vault and you start your Mac, it's not it's booted up as an encrypted device, and only after you enter a password it gets unencrypted. So it's not like some computers. You basically need to log in into your user and then it gets unencrypted. Oh, I'm sorry. And it I'm just started. It's
What I'm hearing from
unencrypted
you,
when
Slava,
you run.
what I'm hearing from you, Slava, is Macs are better. So basically, it's not unencrypted until you've logged in.
Yes, yeah.
Because
as an admin,
they've got a separate system protection.
Yes,
Effectively.
yes. Especially Apple Silicon
That
Macs.
sounds like a really secure idea.
Yeah. Especially Apple Silicon Macs. Honestly, I would say if you have Intel Mac, just sell it. Because first of all, Apple Silicon is more secure, but there are like built-in protections. Also, macOS 26 is going to be the last macOS that support Intel Macs, so no updates. Apple still maintain like security updates for the last 3 macOS, basically for 3 years, but at the same time, just sell it.
Okay.
Backup with a time machine is really good thing for
many
backups.
backups. Time machine is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Block all of screen sharing, like screen sharing, file sharing, media sharing. Block everything that you have. So that's like the basic things like 2FA, enable 2FA. I'm not on the Mac, but just in
on
general.
your things.
Yes.
And
in the office environment, use standard user.
Well, that's actually one of the questions. So Dave Barnes has said, should you run as a standard, not on mid user on a Mac, especially in light of that sudo bypass?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes is the short answer to that question, Dave. Take away admin privileges wherever possible. Colin has said, sorry, I'm still keeping my Windows PC laptop. Knock yourself out, Colin. And Paul has said, why do all astronauts use Macs in space? Because it's dangerous to open Windows up there. Oh my God.
Do your demo.
Okay, we'll do our little ducky demo
Macs
first.
Are secured out of the box.
Please share my screen.
Also, I forgot to notice my vulnerability, basically exploit, sudo bypass. It wouldn't work if ThreatLocker would be running.
That is music to my ears, Slava. That is music to my ears.
Yeah, because we would just block
my rubber ducky in. What is that? Is that security I see?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
first step.
Don't allow. Problem solved, one might say.
Yes,
So yes,
but as a user,
I maintain Macs
as
are
a
better and
user
more secure.
who doesn't know anything about
Okay, I'm going
security.
to say allow. So this is basically a variation of our data exfiltration script. It does a couple of really interesting things. It downloads 7-zip. It uses 7-zip to create a encrypted archive, not just a standard archive, an encrypted archive, and uploads that to our blob.
Okay.
We have a Windows variation of this as well, which we very interestingly found bypasses pretty much all the major EDRs, because amazingly we're not uploading lots of files, we're only
Yeah.
uploading one compressed zip file. So let's just pop this in here, see has anything uploaded to our blob. Ooh, it has. My documents.
Oh,
Now,
no.
the point about is, though, I have had to jump through a couple of hoops to get to this point. Now, what about if we were to turn ThreatLocker on? Do we think that would protect us against that particular attack?
It's gonna block whatever you're running.
Let me just put my
I mean,
machine
not all
back
of the
into
commands.
secured. In fact, I could just end it from here. So let's go for it again using ThreatLocker. So while, as the clever people have pointed out, I am very smug about my Mac love, but I do agree that despite extra protections, there are still more protections that people should use. So let me just plug my device in again. Ah! Protection. So let's just allow it.
Oh, it got killed.
Oh, it got killed.
Oh, because you have curl block policy, right?
Yes, I do. I could have a curl
Yeah.
ring fence policy.
Yeah, we can ring fence it so you. I mean,
Oh, look.
obviously,
7-zip got blocked as well.
obviously you can. You need to allow a curl, but also you don't want to allow everything.
Correct.
That it
So
does.
you don't want it to be
Yeah.
used to download random ransomware, for
Of
example.
course.
So yeah, long story short, not in disagreement with people that built-in protection alone is not enough. I think we've just shown that built-in protection alone is not enough, but built-in protection with ThreatLocker is better.
Of course. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's
Okay, we
what
can agree
me
on
and
that.
Danny tried to say to you.
No. You just gave out about macOS. So thank you all for joining. We will be back next week. Instead of Slava sitting
Yep,
here, we're going to
I'm
have
leaving.
Danny sitting here. So we
I'm a
all have
Mac
that to
nerd.
look forward to. Thank you, Slava. It's
Thank
been
you,
a
Rob.
pleasure. And thank you all very much for joining.
Thank you.